For whatever reason, the coach driver decided to stand on the side in the watch. See maybe he was thinking how to get it out. But the person that was in there, the dignified person, well dressed, ready for Shabbos, coming into the city, everybody expected him. They didn't expect him, as we'll see from the story. But he started to work and meddle with the wagon. He had no idea what to do. He got all dirty and muddied up, and the Balagola remained looking like the Balabas, the very dignified person. They come into town. Everybody's looking for orchim. They want to. Guests came into town. Everybody's running for the Balagola. He looks distinguished. Rich person, the coachman, right? Coachman is distinguished. The other person, the rich person, the dignified person, looks at schmata, all muddied up and everything. Say this must be the Balagola, the coachman. What happened over here was they mixed up their missions. They mixed up what they need, what each one needs to do. And this is what the Rav Shneur Zalman of Riyadi says. Sometimes neshamas are considered toyes with a tough. It's called wandering. Wandering. They don't realize what their mission in this world is. The driver becomes the dignified person, and the dignified person becomes the one that's working, pulling the wagon out of the mud. And that's the same thing also in regards to here. We're here in this world for a mission, and therefore sometimes it could very well be a person forgets and say, oh, you know what? I'll do this. And doesn't realize that actually there was a deeper purpose what the encounter was about, and sometimes years later.
I state emphatically and without reservation that I strongly disagree with something that you had just said before. The Almighty does not regret having made the Yetzer Hara, or the evil inclination, inasmuch as His purpose in making the evil inclination is to give us freedom of choice, which we would not have but for the evil inclination. That is incorrect what was stated before, and I have learned that from many, many different sources, that is the purpose, the very purpose of the existence of the evil inclination. To suggest that the Almighty regrets having made the evil inclination is in fact wrong.
The Talmud says it in Sukkah. Shleisha Dvarim, three things that
I'd like to see it, and I'd like to see how it's explained as well. I will look at it.
Okay.
What are the three things it says?
I will look at it. I would like to
the Talmud here, I'll take it out. It's in the 50s.
I'll find it on my iPod. It's going to take time on Google.
There must be,
obviously,
sure,
there's tons of stuff.
Multiple commentaries regarding that.
But it is said.
It's probably not meant,
That's different.
in that particular way. I would suggest that there would be various different interpretations.
Nichamti asher barasi. We had it in the first portion of Bereshis. Nichamti asher asisi. He says it right there in that verse. I regret that I created it.
The entire world, not the evil inclination. It wasn't referring specifically to the evil inclination.
But in Gemara Sukkah it is there.
Okay.
It says Shleisha Dvarim.
I will look at it.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Mischaret B'chol Yom. Three things. One is
requires some further research, no question about it.
I have another question. How do you work at Simcha? Like we always say, Simcha is the best way to encompass everything, and it's antivirus for a lot of things. Bring Simcha, more Simcha, and everything.
Simcha breaks through all the barriers.
Yes. So how do you work at Simcha?
How do we work? You have to bring yourself to Simcha. You have to bring yourself to joy. Joy is not something that happens on its own. There's something that brings Simcha. When a person realizes what his share is, what one's share is, it is something that actually brings the person to Simcha. How positive whatever he has, his health, his success, his being from the chosen people. This is all things that are mentioned in Chassidus, what Simcha is, what brings joy. There's many different reasons for it, mentioned in Len, in Mamish, in detail.
Is Simcha kind of a great serenity?
It is a feeling that could bring the person to higher than any limitations. It breaks through all the limitations.
What is it? Really, what is it?
What is it? Could we explain what the emotional feelings are, what the personal character is? I don't know what it's made from. It is a very strong force in the person that can break through, that can change his personality even when he's in a time of joy.
like the same quality of joy that we could have in time of the Teshuvah, the first time.
That's also that's a simcha that comes from doing from Teshuvah could be with simcha.
No, what I'm saying is joy, is simcha, the same kind of feeling that you have the first time you're making Teshuvah, the first year.
That could be a simcha. That could be a simcha by a person can bring out a joy that the person finally found the right way, the right path. Inspired, then it brings a simcha.
Excuse me. You said that there were two men who didn't realize their purpose in life and that they changed positions.
It's an example. It's an example. Your story. Yeah.
So, how does one realize their purpose in life?
Okay, one of the things is, and it's a major thing, is knowing what their talent is, what their capabilities are, and then they know how they need to use. These are the things they need to use in their mission in the world.
Okay.
Because a person was created, lebroi elo lechvede. It says the world was created for the honor of Hashem. When a person has their talents, if it's art, if it's music, it's whatever, all the different talents. When a person would come to the Rebbe, and they would ask the Rebbe, they would say, I returned back to the roots, I'm ready to drop everything, all my hobbies, all my professions, all my studying, everything. The Rebbe says, no way. Take all these things, go through it, complete school and everything, and then use it and show that it's not contradicting Judaism. Bring out the beauty of Judaism through these different professions.
I remember the Rebbe once said that when a person is happy, he becomes smarter.
Because it is something that broadens the person. It actually broadens the person's mind. It's like opens up horizons for the person. And simcha also, joy, breaks through the limitations of a person. A person could change personality in a time of joy. It says the personal character traits can change from one extreme to the other. It breaks through in the person and around the person. See, sometimes a person very low key, low profile. You don't hear him. All of a sudden, he's in a time of joy. You don't recognize him. The simcha really could do it. There's no source, original source. There's no source of this saying that simcha breaks through barriers. It actually comes from the same Hasidic discourse where he discusses this. Samach te samach. The fifth Rebbe of Chabad was the one that mentioned it, and that's the source. That's the sole source for it.
Rabbi, if we can't understand God's desire in creating the world, doesn't that limit our ability to have kavanah in serving Him? Like, if we don't know why He wants us to serve Him, then there's a lot of answers. That He did create the world because He wanted a relationship, and that obviously a neshama connects to God, and you feel that as a Jew in mitzvot. But beyond that feeling, which is indescribable, how does one you can't understand, but what are you supposed to do about that issue?
We're connecting to Him, although we don't understand it. We're connecting to Him through the commandments. In anthology, it's mentioned in Medrash. Kabdu as ha-mitzvahs shehem shluchai. Honor the commandments because they are my emissaries. The mitzvahs are the links to which we connect with Him. They are like 613 commandments with the 7 of our sages. 620 adds up to the word kesed, crown. They are basically like beams that are connecting the higher and the lower, and that's our connection with Him. Through learning His Torah, we connect with His wisdom. That's where it is. His logic, His chachmas uritzene, is logic and will is in Torah. And although it's higher than understanding, but we were given the gift of matan Torah. Matan is the word matana, that we should be able to comprehend Torah. Not in the ultimate depth, but understand it, that our human mind should be able to understand